Good morning. So I'm on my way to work, and I was just thinking about this. Like, I've been doing some digging, and so I've been diagnosed with PMDD, right? And with that comes a lot of anxiety and just extreme irritability the 2 weeks before my cycle, and so along with that comes all these other symptoms, right, that I'm trying to find an answer to. And I've got my gynecologist, and I've got a psychiatrist, and I've got my general doctor, and I've got friends that are like pharmacists and neurologists and neuroscientists, and everybody's trying to figure this stuff out, right? And nobody can figure out why my skin crawls so bad, or why all the symptoms have just all of a sudden appeared in the last 6 months or so. My gynecologist says I am not menopausal, not even perimenopausal, like I'm just completely healthy and normal. And then, I know I have sensory issues, right? Because last night, it was all I could do to get home and take my clothes off. I couldn't stand the feel of my clothes on my skin. It was just awful. It's miserable. And so, they've got me medicated for the anxiety and whatnot, right? And that does seem to be effective, because while I'm miserable, I'm still in a good mood. So go figure, right? That's a weird feeling. And so, So I was digging a little bit this morning, and there seems to be a connection. So, first of all, my therapist suggested that maybe I have ADHD. No shit, right? Like, I've known I've had that for a long time. And I'm also an alcoholic, right? So I've been in recovery for over 19 years. And woohoo! And but a lot of the things that I deal with, I've just chalked up to alcoholism, right? And some of the common themes that run through alcoholics in recovery that I have seen is stuff like OCD and ADHD, just general not feeling okay in your skin, but that's more of a mental thing, and just racing thoughts, being obsessive, obviously compulsive, stuff like that. So, I've just kind of wrote a lot of stuff off in that arena, right? Like, I'm an alcoholic, so I have these things going on. And again, over the last, since all this stuff got really problematic, I've been digging, and it's only been my therapist who has said, I think you have ADHD. Okay, well, let's look at that, right? So we're doing some screening for that to see if, we can get an assessment done and whatever. And I would not be surprised at all for that to come back positive. She's also suggested that perhaps we're dealing with some autism. And that, I think, I can't speak for her, but I think for me it comes with, I've got all these sensory issues right now. And so, there is a separate sensory processing disorder diagnosis, which it could be. And, but she's feeling like perhaps autism may be an underlying culprit here. And so I was doing some research this morning, and I was looking through scientific studies, and there does seem to be a link between PMDD and autism. And what I'm finding through some different posts and comments and whatnot is that some people, especially women, don't even know they have autism until they're diagnosed with PMDD, which is typically later in life. Because with that diagnosis, a lot of times it just looks like really bad PMS. But as we get older, our bodies have a harder time dealing with those hormone fluctuations. And so the symptoms get more extreme and more problematic. So, and so that definitely seems to be what I'm going through. And the sensitivities are primarily for me, like, where I'm irritated the most with this skin crawling business, because it's from head to toe. is in my face. So I'm rubbing my face a lot, particularly like right around here, like it just drives me nuts, and in my back, right? And so it's miserable. You know, and then there's the sensitivity to noise, to being in crowds, too many different noises going on. I'm very sensitive to light. But again, some of these things I've known I was sensitive to. It's just one of these things where now it's getting to be very problematic. It's causing panic attacks. Like I almost had a panic attack last night because I couldn't get home quick enough to get undressed. You know, and I'm just trying to breathe and meditate and, you know, be still and whatever. And, you know, employing all the techniques, right? To be continued.